Welcome back. Let's now switch gears. So the reverse political imbroglio, as we usually call it. A lot has happened in the last 1 year. If you look at the politics of Rivers State from May the 29th, when Governor Fubara was sworn in, what has been capturing the headlines are crisis upon crisis upon crisis. It's been attempted impeachment. We've had like 3 speakers now at different turns and all kinds of grandstanding and argument as to who is right and who is wrong and what should be done and what should not be done. Even a presidential intervention could not resolve the issue. In fact, some people say it even triggered more trouble. That's why we're exploring the issue. The latest happening is the fact that the House of Assembly had just vetoed the governor on an amended, unified amendment bill that has to do with local government administration, besides other veto. Also, the local government chairmen have come to accuse the governor of withholding the allocation for March, I think, and April for Emoha local government area. And whilst we're trying to grapple with that, a new speaker in the person of Okojumbo emerged. So let's make sense of what is going on in Rivers State. We're being joined in the program by the chairman, APC Caretaker Committee in Rivers State, Mr. Antonio Okocha, joins us via Zoom. Mr. Okocha, thank you for coming on the program.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
And we also have Dr. Name Ewo, is the Vice Chairman, Rivers West Senatorial Zone, PDP, and former member of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And he will be joining us later. Mr. Okocha, since we have you, let's begin with what you said, that some people have said it kind of triggers a war song. With what played out in the House of Assembly when the governor was vetoed, as we know, and the governor made a statement that they don't exist, that it is this position that allows them to exist. Your response was that they should initiate an impeachment against the governor. Why did you go that route?
Okay, thank you so much. Nigerians and Rivers people are continuing to read and see the enactment of comedy of the absurd in Rivers State, with the governor of Rivers State as the chief thespian. And it is so absurd that in the circumstance, we do not feel sure that a man who was given responsibility to govern Rivers State, who ought to be a signature of excellence and a paragon of consistency, is the one dancing naked on the streets of Rivers State and Nigeria. Now, a governor wakes up and rewrites the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by saying to Rivers people and by saying to Nigerians that a legislative arm does not exist. He had negated the principle of the separation of powers and checks and balances as enunciated by Baron de Montesquieu. And we need to see, because yeah, there could be good new knowledge, but new knowledge you have to follow what they call the thesis, antithesis, and then the synthesis. We need to see how he came by that. Of course, this is the same governor who we have on record his communications and correspondences with the Rivers State House of Assembly at his will. In fact, it's even here with me, the documents are here with me, when the governor wrote to the State House of Assembly telling them that he was refusing assent to the laws, in fact, right, to the bills they made. Okay? And that is to allay the fears and remove the doubts from every mind who thought that the State House of Assembly goes ahead to veto the governor without any form of communication. And I have the pages, I have the letters here with me, just 6 of them here with me. Well, if you look at the national dailies today, you see leadership, your Guardian and the Nation newspapers, you will see 3 full pages of our position on the matter. The governor is no longer fit for the exalted office of the governor of Rivers State, and he should go. I have given that instruction, I have given that directive to my members who are in the House of Assembly, and it is not only giving the instruction, it is backed by force, because any law that has no force backing it is deemed to be an advice. I have said to them that if they refuse to carry out the directive of the party, that we will invoke the relevant sections of the constitution of our party and deal decisively with them.
So what time frame are you giving them to impeach the governor?
They have 3 weeks. They have 21 days to do so.
Right.
Because we cannot continue to wallow in this confusion. A governor wakes up in the morning and tells you, okay, let me give you this scenario here. The National Assembly House of Reps Committee on Public Complaints visited with him on a Saturday. And in that meeting, the governor boasted that there were no political crisis in Rivers State. And people were jubilating, also maybe there's something else he's doing to be able to quell his self-inflicted quagmire in political quagmire in Rivers State. Only for him, the next other day, the revered and venerated first military administrator of Rivers State, His Majesty the Speed, visited with him. And the governor began to spew all manner of things and declaring the assembly illegal, that not existent. In other words, that the assembly exists only at its whims and caprices.
Right.
I haven't seen that before.
The point I'm trying to make,
that the assembly is not a creation of a governor.
Right. The point I'm trying to make now is it your call to make as the caretaker chairman of the APC in Rivers State, or the call of the people that the lawmakers represent? Is that what they really want? That's on the one hand. Some say, is it even either of their calls? How about the former governor, whom a lot of people have also put in the mix, saying they are loyal to him, if that's his call to make? Add to that what some are perceiving will be the bloody aftermath of such if this goes through and there's a standoff. We know how politics can be when two major institutions are at loggerheads, what it will mean for security in the state. Are you considering all of that?
Yeah, well, my response to that is that impeachment is constitutional and legal. It is not a coup d'etat. There are processes and proceedings that follow. Okay, so when anybody begins to think of what the aftermath, bloody or not bloody, in the matter, then the person is the one stoking fire. The person is the one that is beginning to invite anarchy. Impeachment is constitutional. It has happened in a plethora of cases in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So what is there in an impeachment? We didn't say wake up in the morning and impeach the governor. We said commence impeachment processes and proceedings against the governor, because I have said to you, and I repeat again, that he is not due. I mean, he is not qualified by his actions and his inactions to continue to occupy that the exalted office of Rivers State. We're talking about Rivers State here. Rivers State has been turned to a pariah state because of clueless leadership in the state. And we cannot sit down as a political party and watch Rivers State drift into abysmal oblivion. That is our case. We will not sit down here as a political party to see the governor deride assembly members who are members of our political party, and anyone will expect us to be quiet. We will not sit down here to see the governor.
The APC is not the only political party expressing that concern. The PDP is also expressing. The PDP is also expressing concern in that regard, albeit on the contrary side. But I'd like to quickly follow up. You said should the assembly members fail to initiate impeachment proceedings, that your party will invoke the relevant laws from your constitution to deal with them. Might I ask, does your party have the powers to do that, considering that the Rivers State House of Assembly also consists of lawmakers from the PDP as well?
Well, I'm sure you know very well that every political party or every organization has her do's and don'ts as enshrined in what they call constitution or whatever paper. Now, in the party situation, there's what they call party discipline. Every member, every person who acquiesces to a political party agrees to acquiesce also to the do's and don'ts, the ethos and the ethics of the party. And so it is clear that when a directive is given by the party hierarchy at any level, it is to be obeyed by those who the directives are given to. And so that's why I feel sure that the House of Assembly members who are members of my political party cannot berate the directive that we have given. They cannot berate it, else they will face the law. They will face the law. As when I say the law of the party, the constitution of the political party. And let me say, when you say the APC is not the only political party in Rivers State, granted, yeah. How do you register political parties? But we are saying to you that APC is the main opposition political party in Rivers State. And of course, by that very fact, becomes the voice of the voiceless in Rivers State. And I said to you that a governor that lies and that misleads his people, this is a state that was envious, that every person in this country wants to be part of, is now a laughing stock. A governor that comes out on national television to say that the state that he governs, the state that we gave him mandates, but though now in error, has no leaders, neither do they have elders, that can call the feuding parties and resolve the issue. A governor that will say that a document that he assented when the presidency intervened in the crisis, the political crisis in Rivers State, that he turns around, after signing to the document, turns around now to say that meeting was, that the churn out of the 8th proclamation document were not constitutional, but for him, according to him, political. Yet he assented to it. He had opportunity to speak in that meeting. He never said so. We don't understand what's going on. A governor whose achievements for 365 days will only be every week they will visit with 2 local government areas in what they call Thanksgiving for Supreme Court judgment. All right, Mr.
Akocha, if I'm a button, I'm going to come back to you at some point on some of the issues you raised about the legality or otherwise, because even the status of the House members is even in contention. It's a subject of litigation and all of that, and some of your calls and the borderlines of your call. But we're being joined on the program by Dr. Nnamewo, who is the Vice Chairman, Rivers Western Terror Zone of the PDP. Doctor, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
I suppose you've been listening to some of the things that Mr. Akocha has said, and one of his strong points is that he has told, those are his words, whether or not he has the authority is a different kettle of fish, as my colleague has asked, told his members of the House to start impeachment process. If they don't do it in 3 weeks, he will implement a relevant section of their law or their article in their constitution to maybe for punitive measure. I wanted you to react to that first off.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. The situation in Rivers State is pathetic, very, very, very pathetic. You see, Nigeria is a sovereign nation. We have a constitution which is the grand norm. Every other law in Nigeria is dependent on the constitution. Our existence as a nation is dependent on the constitution. The constitution guarantees the existence of the executive arm of government, the legislative arm of government, and the judiciary arm of government. And if the constitution in section 109, sub G says, if you are a member of a House of Assembly elected on the platform of a different party, and before the end of that particular tenure, you have moved to another party, that from that day on you cease to be member of that particular house. Let us learn to respect our laws. Let us learn to respect our constitution. The constitution says you cease to exist the day you move. You cannot place something on nothing. From the day the 27 members move from PDP to APC, automatically they cease to be members of the Rivers State House of Assembly by the provisions of our constitution, not by the provision of our governor, not by provision of any person, but by the provisions of the constitution we gave ourselves. Going forward, it is required that the speaker declare their seat vacant. In this instant case, Edison Ehi or Greyede, who was the speaker, declared their seat vacant. In the eye of the law, they have ceased from that particular day to be members of the Rivers State House Assembly. Then when we look at the political angle of the matter, for the interest of Rivers people, Governor Fubara went and entered a peace pact, which was supervised or spearheaded by the President of the Federal Republic. Yes, it's correct. It's within the rights to do so. But let us pari passu look at the issues, the 8-point agenda. The only request Fubara made in that particular negotiation was that let nobody be victimized on account of this particular crisis. But everybody left Abuja and back to Port Harcourt. Fubara commenced implementation of the 8-point agenda. He returned the commissioners, did few other things to that effect. But these people did not go to court to withdraw any of their matters. These people are still victimizing the supporters of Governor Fubara. The chief of staff was declared wanted after the 8-point agenda is passed. There are people, Fubara supporters, that have been in detention in Abuja from that particular time till now, not less than 8 of them, being incarcerated. Then wherein lies the justice? This is a matter between two parties. If one party is shifting ground, you also have to shift ground. As to the question of Tony ordering the legislatures to commence the impeachment of Governor Fubara is neither here nor there.
Right.
The acting chairman of APC doesn't have such power to give such order. First, second, the assembly that is not existent cannot commence impeachment proceedings. You must exist. You must be constitutionally guaranteed before you commence impeachment proceedings. Besides that, impeachment proceeding is not on the surface. We have impeachable offenses. The governor must commit impeachable offenses before an impeachment can be commenced. Let me remind Tony, for you to commence impeachment offense against the governor, there must be a notice of impeachment outlining the offenses of the governor. Outlining the offenses. The House, it must be presented before the House must debate it. It's a whole lot of process that goes to the judiciary.
Yeah, let me comment here.
They are not on the surface.
Right.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I just want to quickly comment because you mentioned the peace pact. It looks like from what we're seeing so far, that peace pact is not holding. And I'll just mention some of the points on that peace pact. The point 3 says the leadership of the Rivers State House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Martin Amewule, shall be recognized alongside 27 members who resigned from the PDP. With what we saw yesterday with the emergence of another speaker, obviously that has fallen through. Let's go to point 6. It says that, or let's go to 6. It says that the governor of Rivers State shall represent the state budget to a properly constituted Rivers State House of Assembly. Well, you can give us an update on that as well. And 8, there shall not be a caretaker committee for local governments in Rivers State. The dissolution of a local government administration is null and void and shall not be recognized. So for the Martin Amewule House, it looks like that's not holding as well as those other ones, particularly with the emergence of the speaker that we saw yesterday.
Well, the peace pact was succeeding, but as we speak now, I don't think the peace pact is actually going to succeed.
So basically, this is in the face of the president.
Immediately after the peace pact, the state government, the governor recognized the Martin Amewule-led house, and that was the reason why he represented the commissioners that resigned to them, and the governor accepted them back. He has sworn them in. As to the question of caretaker dissolution, the local government tenure in Rivers State runs for 3 years. Their tenure will expire on the 16th of July. They shouldn't preempt the governor. As to the question of conducting an election, it is within the convenience of RISEC. It's not about the governor. They should urge RISEC to bring out a timetable to conduct a local government election. The RISEC has the power, just like INEC at the national level, to conduct local government election. As we speak, there is no caretaker in place. The local government tenure is still running. So why are they complaining? As to the question of representing the budget, I don't think a budget of a state can be represented twice. Edison Hill was the proper speaker then, and the budget was represented before him. We don't think it's proper to represent that same budget again. I don't think it's proper.
Well, that's an interesting way to look at it, but then again, the lawmakers are complaining about how MOA local government is being owed their March allocation, or is it salaries now, as the case may be. But let's leave that aspect of the conversation and go to another one that seems to be a sticking point in all of this. I'm coming to you now, Mr. Okocha, which is what is perceived to be the role of the FCT minister, who is also one of the men, you know, in this feud with his political godson and successor. It is perceived that he is the one setting the state assembly members against the governor. That's on the one hand. And apart from that, you know, grapevine sources say that the administration is indulging him because of what is seen as the Rivers template, wherein the APC won that election, which is being frowned at by many, and that perhaps he will replicate that in 2027 for the administration in Abuja to avoid the embarrassment of the federal, of the leading government losing the election in Abuja in 2027. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. Okocha? Mr. Okocha, did you get the question?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, the question is for you.
Yes, I got the question, and I'd like to say to you, well, I don't know whether I could contradict what my friend Ewa just said, but I'm happy that at least he noted that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria recognizes 3 organs of government. And I don't know whether what the governor said the other day, that the River State House of Assembly is not existent, is consistent with that section of the law that we have in this country. He said also, you know, we have all begun to turn to pocket lawyers and begin to interpret and make all kinds of judgments, even on matters that are in court. Now they are talking about the legislative arm or the assembly members no longer legitimate. Now, they have a plethora of court matters which they instigated, and the matters are ongoing. We've had orders and counter orders. We have had a subsisting judgment of the Federal High Court, which has not been vacated. And in that judgment, it was clear that the Speaker is the Right Honorable Martin Sabebune is the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. That judgment is still fresh. Nobody has vacated it. And that's why we say that what they are doing right now in the state is a comedy of the absurd. It's a comedy of the absurd. And I feel so terrible that the governor of the state is at the epicenter of these absurdities. Okay? Now, when you talk about, you ask of the role of the Honorable Minister of Transportation, Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory. These things are speculatory. Now, the young man, the minister is busy in Abuja. I don't know whether, I'm sure you stay in Abuja and you have seen the transformations that are ongoing. You have seen that the man has said to Nigerians that he has even lost count of the projects he's going to commission to mark his 1 year in office. So at what point is anybody? Now, let them say to us, the same man that the governor says, my organ, let him tell Rivers people what had gone wrong. The only thing I know that would have gone wrong is that when you strike an agreement, you are duty bound to follow that agreement sacrosanctly. Now, when you deviate from that, it means, of course, that you are also not to be trusted. So if you feel sure that there is something else, let him come to Rivers, let him come before Rivers people and tell Rivers people what the problem is. When you say, oh, it is the former governor of Rivers that is stoking fire and all that, he is not a member of the Rivers State House of Assembly. He is not part of those who the governor had declared non-existent. He is not part of those who the governor has said, maybe by extension, he is part of those who the governor has said are no longer not elders and leaders of the state. Maybe he's also part of those where the governor said that the presidency intervention was a political solution. No, my friend talked about, now look at, if you look at index 2, clearly the president said, go and remove every other proceeding targeted at the impeachment of the governor. And the assembly the next day came now to Port Harcourt and convened an extraordinary session where that decision was reached on the floor of the House. Channels, you were there, you covered the proceeding, you covered the assembly session. So, in fact, the assembly led the way to what the president said. Well, they talk about, so is that constitutional or that is also political? That's the point what Nigerians want to know. Now, when the president said, go and present a budget to an assembly that is legitimate, is that political? Can a governor run a state without a budget and begin to spend money due Rivers people, taxpayers' money, without a budget? The governor, as we speak, has no DG of a bureau of procurement.
Mr. Okocha, if I may butt in,
you want, is that transparency?
Mr. Okocha, if I may butt in, let's go way back. You've exonerated the FCT minister, but he has said a couple of times that he bought form for literally all of them. He has not denied that. And so somebody who has that level of... Hold on, Mr. Okocha.
No, they may have...
Just hold on, Mr. Okocha.
It has no business with the governor declaring Rivers State House of Assembly non-existent.
No,
they may have their own problem.
Mr. Okocha, can you just hold on? Just hold on. I'm going somewhere with this. And this question is to both of you as we close. At the end of the day, if we go back, one of the first major moves we saw that triggered this crisis to this point is that impeachment move. Do you, Mr. Okocha, who is seated there, and Mr. Ewo, do you really know what the issue between the FCT minister and the governor is? Can you say you know what is going on between both of them that triggered all of this crisis? Mr. Okocha, Mr. Ewo, let me come to you. Everybody has just about one minute, please, sir.
Okay, I wouldn't know because I'm not omniscient. They have said nothing. The point the minister made at some point was that the governor was dismantling his structure, his political structure. Of course, the governor...
Hold on, Mr. Okocha. Hold on, Mr. Okocha, hold on. Mr. Ewo should go first. My apologies, please.
Before the signing of the peace pact at Abuja, there were issues. Let me lay a few of the issues for the purpose of Nigerians and Rivers people that are watching us. One, third term is not guaranteed in Nigerian constitution. A third term is not guaranteed in Nigerian constitution, either by proxy or by direct means. The former governor, present FCT minister, want to govern Rivers State by proxy as a third-time governor. When it became obvious that he will not succeed, he ordered the assembly to commence impeachment proceeding. It was this impeachment proceeding that led to the Abuja Pact. But the clear issue is that let Nigerians know, let Rivers people know that there is no provision in our constitution and that the former governor, the current FCT minister, cannot govern Rivers State under that manner. This, I think, is the main issue. Let him give up on Rivers people. Rivers people need SIM. Rivers people need good governance. Rivers people need a working assembly, a working judiciary, a working executive to be able for the governor to be able to deliver on the dividends of democracy. Please, I'm calling on him to give up on Rivers State. Let him concentrate in Abuja. It's no longer feasible at this moment for him to govern Rivers State by proxy.
All right, Mr. Okocha, it's now your turn, sir. 1 minute,
Thank you so
please.
much. My friend is just being speculative, and I don't understand what that means. Now, let him come with facts. When he comes with facts, Nigerians will be able to diagnose and dissect and be able to say to him whether he is right or wrong. To say that the governor, former governor, wanted a third term. What third term is that? The issue the man raised at the heat of it, I mean, at the issue, was the fact that the governor is reneging from the agreements reached. Right. I wasn't there. I don't know the agreement. And the governor had not said that he does not renege. He has said, look, the governor, part of it that he said overtly was the fact that the governor was dismantling his political structure. The governor is a product of that political structure. In fact, if you ask me, okay, by all standards, because I have been in this system for a long time, I could categorize him as a beneficiary of undeserved goodwill because he had never been there with us in all the battles. Okay, but for whatever it is worth, Providence okay? What Christians will call a miracle or something, or good luck, you know, became his plot. Now, the issue is that, like I've said before, that please let us take away the honorable minister from this whole imbroglio, because
made that point
they may have their views.
I think you've made that point time and again, but you know how political watchers and those who are in the know, they're also privy to some of these, you know, issues, particularly even before it blew up in the face of everyone. But on a final note, let me just ask Dr. Ewo, because there are a lot of Nigerians who are still holding on to that peace pact, thinking that it is a working document. So this peace pact, which is replicated here, should they still hold on to it? Is this still a working document, particularly for Governor Fubara, or they should just fold it and maybe put it in the trash and know that it's no more a working document? Dr. Ewo, we're winding down on that one.
Well, if we have a document and both parties are not shifting ground, I don't think it can any longer hold.
Okay.
All right,
so it's no more a working document. Let's just keep it aside.
I must thank both of you. Mr. Tony Okocha, Chairman APC Caretaker Committee in Rivers State, joining us from Port Harcourt, as well as Dr. Name Ewo, Vice Chairman, Rivers West Interior Zone, PDP, and former member of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Gentlemen, thank you, and we hope there will be peace someday in Rivers State so that all of this will be talking about governance and not all of this crisis. Thank you for your coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, away from Rivers politics, we'll switch gears now to the softer side of things. Rotimi Keys is joining us next to tell us how we manipulate all of that to create those beautiful sounds. Join us again.